We have got a gift this morning. We have, in fact, Unity had him last service. We get him this service. Yes. So we were taught to share, and we're doing that. But Daniel is an amazing individual. He is been around, I want to say, since the New Thought dirt was turned. He's
Second Cretaceous period. It was
exactly, yes.
Actually, the first religious science or Center for Spiritual Living church I ever sang at was the first church I ever had been in. I grew up going to synagogue, and it was a little church in Evanston, Illinois, in 1996. And then I moved to LA and started where we met, probably,
yes.
or where,
yes.
where you first heard me sing.
Yes.
Was around 2000, 1999 or 2000. Yeah.
So he has been spreading his musical seed all over everywhere.
That sounds wrong. I'm just saying. That sounds like the beginning of a rumor.
I know.
Okay.
Good at that. But I just want you to know that you are all in for a gift this morning, and Daniel is amazing. He is just an amazing musician, and his musicality is infinite. So may I present for your morning's pleasure, Daniel Nahmod.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Want to sing with me? I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah. All right. Sing it one more time. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Tucson. For those who don't know me, hi, my name is Morgana. For those joining us online, welcome whenever you watch and join in. For everyone here, please put those phones in airplane mode or silence. Turn them off. Thank you. Now let's take a few moments to breathe in together and get grounded in this space. Because wherever we are in sacred space. We are all a unique expression of the divine source, the one life that is God's life. That life is perfect, and that life is our life. If you're setting an intention to experience a happier life, better health, more abundant living, you're in the right place. Please know that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. Let's see, is there anyone here that is new, here for the first time, second or third, willing to put your hand up and be recognized and welcomed into this space? Thank you, welcome. We're so happy that you've chosen to be here with us today. If you have any questions after service, please feel free to find a practitioner, a board member, myself, and Reverend Ronnie, the ultimate expert. Here's a few announcements. There's most of them you're going to find in your bulletin's back page, but these are some things that are coming up really soon. The Evolving Heart, Healing and Navigating Loss, a grief support group being started with Reverend Ronnie, Wednesdays, 1:30 to 2:30 p.m., Annex Room 3. Contact Reverend Ronnie for more information. Coming up to feed our, we always come together to feed our souls, but once a month we like to feed our bellies. So, Potluck Sunday, August 3rd, after service in Harmony Hall. Bring a dish to share. Vision Corps is meeting Tuesday, August 5th at 6:30 on Zoom. Okay, there's a lot more coming. As I said, it's in your bulletin. It's also in the newsletter if you signed up for that. Let's take a few moments to say hello and greet our neighbors and those online. Hello.
Good morning. I invite you to keep that enthusiasm going today. I know I'm super excited. I am such a huge fan. I was here for the Unity service. I'm here for this. I'm here for the concert that will follow. So I know tickets are still available. So I invite you to just enjoy your day in spirit. My name is Sharon Whaley. I'm a practitioner, and I'm also on your board of trustees, and I am here this morning to lead us in our mission statement, which is on the wall, on your bulletin. And so if you would join me. The Center for Spiritual Living Tucson is an inclusive, vibrant spiritual community focusing on personal connection through our beliefs, principles, and practices of science of mind. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Robbie Jean Chandler. I am also one of your practitioners here. And could we have our other practitioner stand up, please? Thank you. There's 3 of us here today. If any of you need prayer, we will be up front waiting for you after service. Thank you. And now we're going to do the lighting of the flames of faith. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the candle for all who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives. We hold space for them and for all those religions unnamed in this ceremony. Lastly, as the healing candle is lit, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to experience the healing flame of God's eternal love. Who's doing the bells for the meditation? I don't. Can you say to me when it's on? Are we doing meditation? Who's doing the bells? Okay, I can't hear you. If you will please all join at this time for a silent meditation, just stepping into that peace and into that love. And let us just stay in this moment of peace, in this moment of love, feeling the joy of the fellowship, of the love that we are each and every one created by. Knowing that the beauty of this earth, the beauty of the harmony that we each carry within us, knowing and embracing these things wholeheartedly, just imbuing it into our bodies, into each and every one of us. Knowing that every atom, every quark, every molecule that is in our body in any capacity is lit up and full to the brim of love. Even with the spaces in between, it is all love. And just feel that as it continues its working away around this room, knowing that that white cord that connects each and every heart here, knowing that love is being shared with each and every person, openly, honestly, and with great joy. And so I'm just saying thank you. There's such deep gratitude within my heart today for the blessings of having Daniel Nahmod here with us to share his beautiful musical talents and gifts, for our Reverend Rhonda, who will deliver a beautiful message today, and just knowing that each is blessed and that we carry forward this feeling of love and joy and fulfillment within our bodies, our minds, our souls, every aspect there is. And we go forth this day in rejoicing. And so it is.
What do I do if I'm not chasing anything? What do I do if I've got everything that I need? It's a question that no one's prepared me to answer. Where do I go if I'm right where I'm supposed to be? Where do I go if wherever I am home? It's a mystery. No one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work anymore, if there's no map for what life has in store, what if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how to answer. How do I live if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery. No one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, Well, that's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? For that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to give and what's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? It seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over and we're all born victorious, if the race is over, what then?
I'm going to read spiritual thought of the week, and after that, the affirmation, which I would like you to join me in reading the affirmation. Freely ye have received, freely give. When the law of circulation is retarded, stagnation results. It is only as we allow the divine current to flow through us, on and out, that we really express life. The law of giving and receiving is definite. Emerson tells us to be aware of holding too much good in our hands. It's from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind text. Now the affirmation. I give freely, knowing God is always providing for me. Thank you.
When things go wrong, it's natural to wonder, what celestial rule did I break? When things go right, it's logical to ponder, what credit can I take? But the truth is so much easier. I don't need a master plan. I can live here in the moment, 'cause my life is in good hands. I don't need to know where the wind blows, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. Well, still I find I'm crying out for answers. Guess I'm still craving control. And still I find I'm afraid of taking chances, as if I could damage my soul. But at this moment I remember, it comes so clear to me, that the minute I surrender, I'm as safe as I could be. I don't need to know where the time goes, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. Oh, I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go. I can just let go. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. God knows. God knows. Those are not two songs. If the race is over and I don't need to know, those are not songs for the alpha type person. And it wouldn't shock me if I found out that a good number of you really thought that I was full of it singing those two songs, that there's just no way either of those songs is actually true. I have another song that goes, if I stop steering my boat does it sink? Oh no. Current carries it along just so. And I had somebody come up to me after hearing it saying, Daniel, come on. If you stop steering your boat, it's going to sink, man. I said, it's a metaphor. He's saying, all right, it's a metaphor, but just wanted to make it clear it would sink. So I thought, just when I appear and talk or do workshops or whatever I'm doing, it's really just the ABCs of me. There's no act here, okay? This isn't shtick. This isn't like a thing that I do pre-scripted, or it's not careful. Clearly, it's not high show business, polish. 25 years, I'm still working on it, But I can promise that what I'll say will be true for me, and I can also promise that you will agree with some and disagree with other things about it. But my goal is always for it to provoke a thought or a memory, or make something clearer or something muddier, depending on which way it goes for you. So I thought I'd talk today about control. And really that isn't actually the word that came to my mind was not control, but force. Using force. Now, when I say using force, I don't know about you, obviously, but my immediate visual image is somebody using physical force. It's not a pretty picture. It's sometimes necessary. I think we can pretty much agree. I had a big kick a couple days ago. I got to sing the national anthem at a championship baseball game for something called the American Legion, which, if you're not familiar, is for kids, for high school kids. It's big-time baseball for high school kids, but the so-called, we'll call them adults. The adults in the room are veterans, and they actually specifically pay tribute to all the branches of the armed forces at American Legion baseball events. And it's a real kick for me, not just to sing the national anthem as a proud American and a child of first-generation Americans, but also to do so in the presence of veterans. One of those veterans is the man who is in charge of this organization in California, and he's the one who invited me, and I happen to know that he did tours in Vietnam and flew planes, and is an actual living, breathing, modest, soft-spoken hero who did things that I would never have the courage to do for his country, and following orders that I would have, I'm just being honest, I would have contemplated every conceivable way of getting out of doing the things that he was ordered to do, and just went ahead and did as a man, as a soldier. Using force, right, is sometimes necessary. That kind of force is not actually the force I'm thinking about today. I'm thinking about the force that you and I may sometimes feel like we ought to use, or have to use, or are expected to use in our own lives, in that hopefully 99% of the time in our lives, when we're not talking about physical force. We're talking about forcing something to work, forcing something to happen, forcing something to stop. Our boy, I'm a proud daddy. Jude is 13, and unfortunately, he's a pretty good drummer. Sorry, it's an easy punchline, but it's pretty unfortunate. It's pretty loud. It's pretty loud, but he really is pretty good, and he's also pretty good as a singer. But he doesn't really know that yet. He doesn't know either of those things yet, right? And if you're wondering why he doesn't know that, it's because my wife and I know full well that he has a pretty exceptional ear and a pretty exceptional capacity for playing in time and playing drums in an appropriate style. There's things you can teach, and then there's things you can't. And his father happens to be able to recognize the things that you can't teach. It's something I was born with myself, right? Certain things I'm born with that I can't teach. And so when I'm listening to him, I'm like, oh God, he's got a lot of natural talent. Now, there are many, of course, schools of thought about what to do with a child who has significant talent in any area. And I think it's fair to say some people are, their natural talents are ignored or overseen or overlooked, right? There are probably, almost certainly, people in this room who had a talent for designing dresses or singing songs or dancing, or, right, that no one in any position of authority or opportunity noticed. It's tragedy. We know it's tragedy. In fact, my wife has been an artist her entire life, and although she'd kill me for talking about her in public, which I sometimes do, never when she's in town, but she's a natural born artist. Like, she cooks without recipes and designed her own wedding dress and then taught herself how to sew it. And she makes jewelry out of silver, and she's created multiple businesses, all artistic, all interesting. She's an interior designer, absolutely of a professional caliber. And I'm not just saying that because she's good looking and married me, you know. She really is that. She's a deeply talented artist, but she was one of 5 kids raised by a single dad who was on disability for multiple health challenges. No mom in the picture, and this dad, she still talks about how he would bring home a chicken and a bag of beans, and that would feed the 5 kids for the week, right? And this was not somebody who had the opportunity to be an artist. Nobody asked her what she dreamed of being. It was not on the table. So there's a whole segment of society, of the world, of humanity, that nobody asks them, what do you love to do? What are you gifted at? Got it. Then there's the me's of society who show some aptitude or some interest and get piano lessons, right? I'm the lucky one for sure, by far, right? The one who is interested in music and gets handed, you know, metaphorically speaking, the keys to the kingdom. You want to be in the band? My parents bought me a trombone. It wasn't good for my social life, but or a cool factor that never actually existed. But it was that kind of thing that a very fortunate kid gets the opportunity to do. Then we also know, if it wasn't you or a kid you know, we've heard of kids who show some aptitude, or maybe they don't even need to show particular aptitude, but their parents are well and determined to make them into something excellent in a certain field. They're going to force them to learn piano, force them to learn ice skating, force them to learn chess, force them to get straight A's. That kind of force is one of these uses of force that I'm kind of exploring today. We are not, my wife and I, in the business of forcing Jude to become an excellent musician. Some would call it, at least from the outside, it would appear that we might be giving him the opportunity to squander some natural ability. So be it, if that's the case. We actually value kindness and a happy life more than that kind of achievement. But not everybody feels that way. And as people grow up, I don't think they don't only do it to their kids, they do it to themselves too, to force a business into sustaining, to demand of yourself to work 80 hours a week if by God that laundromat isn't working, or you hit the pavement harder, you make more phone calls, You borrow more money, you expand, not contract. You force, you do your best anyway to force something to succeed. Probably a touchy subject for at least a couple of people in this room, but how about forcing a relationship to continue? Everybody's done it. We know it should end, but it hurts too much to end. Or it's too devastating in other ways for it to end. Or we feel like there's too much judgment from other people, or we'll feel internally the judgment of a failure to allow a relationship to end when it's time for it to end. I have a song called "We Suck at Breaking Up," and it was written. Unfortunately, all my songs, more or less, all my songs are autobiographical. And I was dating somebody. We were definitely not meant to be dating, but every time I would come out and say out loud, I think we should probably call it a day, she became a genius at debating the merits of the relationship ending until I was convinced that I was wrong. Or I would do the same to her, I think, but more, she did it to me. She was just a brilliant panic communicator. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I would teeter us right over to the edge of ending, she became, Mother Teresa and Oprah and she's just like brilliant. It was like, well, I can't break up with you now because this is spectacular, the things you're saying, wisdom and the beauty and the love. So we sucked at breaking up, So relationships can also be forced to continue. Then there's also, again, I know these are touchy subjects, but another one is we force medical treatments on ourselves and on others. I'm always attuned to the language of fighting cancer, for example. And I don't. I had one relative. My grandmother died of breast cancer. One more recent relative who had cancer, and he did fight it, and he survived it, and I'm glad he did. And I don't know how I'd feel. I probably do know how I'd feel if it was my wife, or if it was me, or if it was, God forbid, our son. So this is me being a hypocrite, like with everything else I talk about and sing. But the notion that a diagnosis is something to fight, that's a common feeling, that it's time that you whip out the big guns, you go to war against it. And among several things that catch in my mind about that languaging is the implicit assessment when cancer is not cured or removed from a body, that war was lost, that the wrong force was applied, or not enough force. We've all heard the notion in spiritual settings. One of the most interesting quotes I've read was, "Spiritual people can be the most violent people in the world. Mostly they are violent towards themselves." Another area of force that we use, I think, is we attempt to strong-arm ourselves, or someone we love, but let's just talk about ourselves, to strong-arm ourselves into appearing wise, or appearing enlightened, or being religious or pious. I went to private Jewish school, and through 8th grade, and it's a long time ago now, and I'm mostly over the bullying. And but the bullying, the kids who were jerks in that class, they were as religious as they come. And in retrospect, only really in my 30s did I start to realize that they were teachers of a lifelong lesson for me. That is, that I didn't care if you were religious, I only cared if you were nice. And that being religious was actually not at all correlated to being nice. That there are volunteers around the world saving lives in the name of God, and there are volunteers all around the world saving lives with atheist or agnostic or just completely religion-free motivation. And, of course, the flip side of acts of evil and cruelty being perpetrated by all kinds. So we force ourselves sometimes, I think, to appear or maybe even be pious. Have you ever received a gift? Have you ever received a gift or a compliment from somebody who felt obligated? It's not the most rewarding feeling. Or giving a gift that you really, you go to a wedding you didn't really want to go to, and you show up with a gift and it was just on the list and it matched your budget, and there you go, But then your best friend shows up with something that costs 49 cents but is the most precious thing you've ever seen, and it's a gift from the heart, and that thing you cherish forever. We know the difference between forced and natural. And I think if I were to tie in and tie together all these, and there's other ways to force. You force, I don't know, I've known a lot of houses of worship, sung in a lot of houses of worship, thousands of them, and I've known a lot of ministers and rabbis and such, and talked to a minister or a rabbi sometime about the building project that they had to do to renovate or fix the roof, or build an add-on or recarpet, and you find yourself having a conversation about things that they have to force into happening. It's very unpleasant usually for ministers to raise the $100,000. They got to call people who they consider friends and, community members, and say, I need $25,000 for an air conditioner. And you're shoehorned into doing something that isn't in the flow of the normal relationship, isn't in the flow of easy and simple and natural. It's like you got to do something. I think we all know the feeling of forcing ourselves into, as I say, to tie this together, into a relationship or of a treatment or a mindset, and and how does it feel? How does it feel to use force on yourself or on someone around you? I would argue that it is inherently exhausting. And we could debate it. I would also argue personally that it's inherently unsuccessful. It has all kinds of what they call unintended consequences. Even if you make the relationship last past its expiration date, you're gonna discover the reason why it was meant to end. You forced something to last, and you find out later, I once read in a book, if you are a manager of someone who walks into your office to quit, never talk them out of it. Let them quit, because in their minds they're already gone. And if you convince them to stay, the days of them being the employee that you loved and valued, those days are already over. They walked in with an end date, and you have now, forced a relationship, a work relationship, past that point. We also, by the way, know when a friendship is over. And you force it to continue because, for whatever reason, you can't stand the thought of it being over, or it's embarrassing, or you're sad or ashamed of something you did. Sometimes a relationship is over, and we all know the feeling of trying to persist in something, and it's just doesn't feel right from that point on. It was meant to be over, and we didn't let it end. And and that's okay. But the question then is, where are you and I allocating our energy? Where are we applying this force? And where might our energy be, I'm going to use the word better, where might our energy be better spent towards the next right thing, the next good thing, the next true thing? If we try to force Jude into becoming a committed drummer, God help us all, what talents might he never discover that he has? Or, as I say about the values that my wife and I have, what true sources of happiness might he never discover himself? Because we have kept him in a practice room for 8 hours a day. And yeah, he could become the greatest drummer in the world, and we would have raised an unhappy person. And that we would not want to do. Forcing, it seems to me, is avoiding or ignoring or blocking out the natural course of something. And using force is expensive. If you've ever, sorry, it sounds like I'm talking a political thing, but I'm really not. If you've ever tried to cross an international border anywhere, you've seen how expensive it is in every way to draw a line here and force everyone here to convince you to let them cross this imaginary line that you drew in the ground. These lines are not, they're not natural boundaries. They're human-made lines. And once you say, this is you, this is me, don't you dare cross this line, I have to use force for the rest of my existence to keep you over there. I got to set up barricades. I got to put people with guns. I got to put x-ray machines. Now I need paperwork and rubber stamps and Jesus, I mean, it's a nightmare to create, to build that wall and arm it. If you ever played the game Risk, you ever played the game Risk? Anybody? In Risk, you conquer continents. It's a great game. I learned it as a kid. We used to play it a million hours of Risk. And there's one continent that it was never smart to conquer. What continent was that? Nobody knows? Oh, you guys should play some Risk. The answer was Asia, because most continents had a border or two, a country or two. If you managed those borders, nobody could invade. Asia had like 7 border countries that you had to arm them all, barricade this giant border. And of course, by the way, historically it's proven true. Land wars in Asia, bad idea. You know, it's a lot to defend. I mean, you and I, we make these decisions on a daily basis, what walls we're going to set up. And then we got to defend them. I don't think that. I don't let that end. I don't let that start. Oh, I don't believe that. Have you ever tried to hold a belief at bay? A sneaking suspicion of something? How about the feeling that you're gay? I mean, I have known family members and friends who did their damnedest. This is generations before now, but I know that it still happens now all over the world. Somebody has to, if they have decided, for usually very, very good and sad reasons, that they cannot say out loud that they're gay, that's a wall they got to build, and then they got to defend it. And that is an expensive wall to defend. That has to be every facial expression, every reference to every, you can't talk about being in love. You have to really, truly censor everything you say, filter everything you feel to make sure that nothing drips through that wall that gives away a truth that you have committed, usually for very, very, almost always for very important reasons, that you've decided to defend that. You have to use force to protect that wall. So what if you were to let your personal wall come down? What truth would you say that you have been expensively defending forever? What feeling have you walled off? What ending have you denied? What identity have you taken on that to let it go felt so mortifying, so unacceptable to somebody, even if not you, so inconceivable that you built a wall to hold that identity inside you so that you would still show up as, oh yeah, he's an accountant. Oh yeah, she's definitely a ceramic artist, when she might want to be the accountant and he might want to be the ceramic artist, and neither one of them can say it out loud, and they spend their lives defending the story using force. And I just wonder where that energy might be better spent. What happens if the dam breaks? What happens if you stop defending the wall? Where does the truth actually lead you? What is the natural beginning or ending that's asking to happen that you and I are stopping with force? A personality that has never come out. A love that's never been confessed. A passion that has never been shown, revealed, exposed to the world. So much pushing and pulling, so much fighting and straining, so much laboring against waves and wind. I am tired, my arms are weary, my back is aching, my eyes are bleary. I think I'm finally ready to give in. I have struggled, I have cried, I have screamed inside about the kind of life I've tried to lead. Well, right now I think it's time, for the very first time, to lay down my body and mind and just be. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, I'm gonna be all right. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. Down the block or to the moon, round the world or just to my room, I can't say where I'm supposed to end up. I've resisted for so long, as if I could do no wrong, and it's never been quite good enough. It's a funny thing, I guess, this prideful human saying yes without knowing what I'm agreeing to. But there's a simple fact I find, the decision's never been mine. All I'll ever do is what I'm meant to do. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, I'm gonna be all right. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. It's a scary thing for sure, to lay down my oars and quit pretending that I've ever been in charge. But it's scarier still to spend my strength and will and never even have a peaceful heart. So here goes the toughest thing. Ironic, don't you think, that it's so hard and so easy all at once? No, it's not laziness, it's just the deepest kind of trust that I'm okay when all is said and done. I'm okay when all is said and done. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, I'm gonna be alright. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. I'll just go where the ocean says to go.
Daniel, thank you. Thank you for this beautiful day. Whew, lots to think about, huh? Beautiful. So this time we take right in this moment is the tithe. And what we think about our tithing is how do we create more of what we're experiencing? This beautiful sanctuary, the tech people, Daniel, Nahmod, you know? So being able to give, we are able to receive, and in that receiving, we're able to do unlimited possibilities. And so in that infinite possibilities, I just want to point your direction to a beautiful basket that's in the back. And whatever you give from the heart, I know that we are all here at Center for Spiritual Living Tucson truly grateful for those monetary gifts. And so let us say together, as we give, we receive the prayer. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I gave, and I am prosperous now. Let's say that again. I am prosperous now. And so instead of giving you the charge this afternoon, I'm going to just release and let go to Daniel and let us benedict us out with this beautiful song.
Let's close. There's a song I would like to sing for you before we go. I sang it for the Unity group, and I don't know if I don't usually repeat songs during a day. Like, I sing it if I mean it, but I'd want you to hear the song if I've never sung for you before. It's really, as I said to the group this morning, it's really a fundamental song for me. And in fact, by the way, it is not, maybe not coincidentally, an example of not using force and going where the ocean says to go. Because I moved to LA 25 years ago, or maybe a little more now, 26 years ago, to make music for a living, and there's the entire, whatever you'd call it, I don't know if you'd call it a career, but the entire body of work, the whole thing I've done for these years has been, I thought I was conscious. I thought I was like making decisions. But really looking back, I was actually following to use Jonathan's word from this morning, following a calling that I wouldn't have even told you I was hearing. And I'm a child of, not just of first generation immigrants, but I'm the grandchild of Holocaust survivors. And the thing that I've attempted to do with my music, without knowing it, just going where the ocean says to go, is really summarized in the message of this song. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you and I can choose to use force and to deplete our energy and to guard a boundary and to assume and to wear a mask and to protect things from changing, from starting, from ending. But I can testify, at least in my own experience, that if I just do the thing that feels right to do next, and not tell myself that I'm in charge of the long term, nor that I would even want to be. Not pretending that I'm in control of large-scale outcomes, but only in control of how I respond in this moment and manage this or react to this, use this one and only day to do what I'm called to do today. If I do that, I don't need to use force to achieve what I'm here to achieve. I will be, by nature, literally and figuratively, I will be achieving my goal. I will be becoming who I was born to become and doing what I was born to do without the worry, without the force, without the stress and the illusion of control. I sleep better, I think clearer, I hug more sincerely, I listen better, I'm a better husband, I'm a better father, I'm a better songwriter without the stress and the sweat and the effort of an exertion of trying to demand a certain life, a certain outcome. I can let the outcome arrive in its own time and do what I'm called to do and let that be enough. So I have a lot more songs to sing for you today at 1 o'clock. You're invited to come by and come back here in this beautiful room with these outstanding sound people, by the way. Thank you for an amazing job all morning. Yeah, for real. And thank you for having me. I knew I would enjoy it, and I have, and I hope you have too. I know I tend to blather, but hopefully you got a couple things. No, for real. But hopefully you got a couple things to think about in your own life where you might be able to relax your hands off the steering wheel a tiny bit and rest a little bit in knowing that all is okay as it is. And as I told the first service this morning, I have a table out there. There's shiny objects because that wife I told you about, she is a silversmith and an introvert, so she never stands behind a table to show off what she makes. But what she makes is very beautiful, so I'll be there with that. And then I have music. I have a flash drive that has 14 albums on it, which is a cool little object if you like a lot of music. And then I have CDs and download cards, and I'm just glad to just chat with you all, whether you're sticking around or not. Okay, so here is, as I say, a song that really kind of, this afternoon I'll do 2 or 3 more of these songs that I consider to be more fundamental to me, not a specific moment in my life, not a specific feeling, not a specific thought, but the whole, what Danny is doing, sitting at a piano, the child of and grandchild of Sonia and Sheldon and Rivka and Getzel and Betty, and I honestly think this is their legacy too. So here we go. There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door, but whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. but different is only dangerous. When we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, or Jesus or Lord. Call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, what we are is It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. Thank you so much. Want to close with singing something?
Huh?
Want to close?
Sure, let's do something funny. Fun.
All right.
Oh. Get everybody
What do you guys like? What do you guys like to sing after a service? Sing a peace song? What do you sing? Peace song? All right, here we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony.
week, everyone. I love you. See you next Sunday.